Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video, I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. So let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user WisePotato1898. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my brother's wedding because he didn't want to invite me in the first place? So, for context, I, 21 female, have an older brother, 25 male, who is getting married later this year. We used to be somewhat close when we were growing up, but drifted apart after he met his now fiance, 24 female. From the start, his girlfriend and I didn't really get along, but I've always kept it civil for the sake of him and my family. So, there are no bad feelings between us, or so I thought. My grandmother called me up about 4 weeks ago to ask if I wanted to go dress shopping with her for the wedding. And I was so confused because I didn't even know my brother was engaged. I thought nothing of it and assumed they didn't mention it because I don't live with my parents anymore. But I did find it somewhat strange that no one posted anything about the proposal until I found his girlfriend's private Instagram account on my boyfriend's phone because she blocked me. About a week ago, my mom called me and told me that the invitations were sent out that day and asked if I got mine, because my brother's girlfriend was supposed to give them to my boyfriend since they work at the same company. And I said no, and she was very irritated. She called me back after talking to my brother and told me that she was inviting us to the wedding. I stood my ground, expressing that I'm not going to the wedding without an invite. I made it clear that if they didn't want me at the wedding, I didn't want to be there. Now my family is saying I'm the a-hole for not accepting the invitation. My mother invited me over the phone, and that I want to ruin her wedding day. So, am I the a-hole? Well, OP, no, I don't think you're the a-hole. Your family might be making an argument that you have to be the bigger person and accept the invitation, but your brother and his fiance clearly don't want you there. I mean, she was supposed to hand the invitation to your boyfriend because she works with him, but nope, didn't want to do it. And you found out she had a secret account with the engagement stuff and all of that, but you were blocked. And your brother doesn't even call you to tell you that he's engaged. That's pretty big news to not want to share with your siblings. So that's just a pretty big I don't want you at the wedding message that you're getting from the both of them. And I gotta say, getting a quote-unquote invitation over the phone from your mom after she pulled your brother's ear for not inviting you? Yeah, that's not an invitation. Now, I'm kinda curious as to why your brother's fiance doesn't like you. You don't give us too much of a backstory, but you do mention that she works with your boyfriend. Could it have something to do with him? Like, was she pursuing him and then you showed up or something like that? I think we're missing some background information here. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Lost in HH says, nope, I sure as hell wouldn't go either in that case. Your mother has every reason to be upset, but with your brother and his wife, not with you. Your mother can't claim you didn't accept the invitation because there was none, and it's not on her to invite you. You weren't invited, and attending the wedding would just put you in a really uncomfortable and awkward position. It would be another matter if, at the very least, your brother had called you to apologize and personally asked you to attend, but he didn't. Maybe he still will, but it's a little too late for that in my opinion. Aggressive Ad 5454 says, it's not every day you get permission from the mother of the groom to crash a wedding. Smiley face. Your mother is way out of line for giving you a hard time about this. Now, if your boyfriend is invited and you aren't, hopefully you can persuade him to decline the invitation. As a retired minister, I have always understood wedding ceremonies to be an opportunity for the guests, witnesses, to declare their support for the couple. A century ago, a wedding was the giving of a license to F, but that was a century ago. It's strange and ominous for the health of the marriage, for the sister of the bride or groom to be excluded. Strange enough that I might decline to go to the wedding if the couple came to me. Sorry this is happening to your family and your brother. I suspect he'll need your love and support in years to come. Peace. And Strange Pure says, not the a-hole. They purposefully chose not to invite you, so you're not welcome. An invite to keep the peace with your mother isn't an invite. It's basically a, oh, and you can come too if you want. F 'em, you do your own thing on that day, and they can spend the rest of their life explaining that his sister isn't in any of the wedding photos because they didn't invite you because of her. The fact your brother didn't back you and force her to invite you in the first place says he's chosen her over family and is only inviting you now because he has no choice. And the fact people are standing by those two who started this situation is BS. You won't be ruining the wedding day, you'll be giving them the day without you there, which is obviously what they wanted in the first place. So the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole. Now OP did not reply to any comments, so we have no additional context, which means we move on to the first of two updates to see what happened next. Thank you for everyone's comments. I only posted the story today, but I already have the update because it just happened a few hours ago. My parents and my brother showed up at my house. Luckily, my boyfriend was home too. Oh, and I'm so not going to the wedding. This is what happened. My brother's fiance does indeed not want me at the wedding. My parents and brother are trying to convince her to invite me. No thanks, not after everything. They came to our house to tell me I should apologize to my brother's girlfriend. I was totally fine with it. I only wanted to know what it was that I was apologizing for. This is where I might be the a-hole. They told me that they couldn't tell me what it was, but it happened 2 years ago when future sister-in-law and I used to work together at the same company. I tried to find out what it was, but they wouldn't tell me. My boyfriend got a bit upset about everything and told them that if they couldn't even tell me what I did wrong, he saw no reason for me to apologize. My brother then let us know that he didn't care if we didn't attend, but my grandparents told him that if he didn't invite me, then they were also not going, and that's the only reason they wanted me there. So I decided I'm not going to the wedding. My boyfriend and I are going on a weekend trip. Not to be petty or anything, we're just going to enjoy ourselves. I really appreciate everyone's positive comment. Additional information from OP's comments. Thank you for all the support and ideas, especially the one about inviting my grandparents to come join us on our trip during the wedding weekend. I will definitely be calling them first thing in the morning and totally inviting them to come with us. And about my apology, I'm not sure if my parents didn't know or just wouldn't tell me. All they said was that they couldn't tell me what it was. I honestly don't have a clue why she's angry with me. We worked together for maybe 8 months before I got an internship at another company, which was more in the field I'm going for. Also, it wasn't a job that she was after because I'm in graphic design now and she's an accountant assistant or something like that. Smiley face with a sweat. However, I am absolutely going to try to figure out what it is, just for my own peace of mind, but I'm not going to do anything further apart from telling my grandparents what happened. Now, the theory that it could have something to do with my boyfriend actually makes so much sense. I didn't really think about it, but my boyfriend and I started dating about 2 years ago. However, I don't know. It would be a little weird if that's the case because she started dating my brother 5 years before she even met my boyfriend. Okay, so now we know that it's the bride-to-be that doesn't want OP at the wedding, but we don't know why she's angry. So let's move on to the final update to see how the story ends. So my grandparents actually called me the following morning asking if I got invited to the wedding. I said no, and they were so mad. Turns out my grandparents were paying for the wedding. My brother told everyone he was paying for everything himself, but nope. My grandparents are now not paying for the wedding after future sister-in-law also refused to tell them what she was upset about. My parents have stepped up to cover the rest of the wedding expenses, and my grandparents, my boyfriend and I will be enjoying a great weekend. Thank you for everyone's comments and advice. I really appreciate it. Well, OP, hopefully someday you'll find out what it was that she was angry about and you'll tell us, because now I'm just kind of curious about that. But the silver lining is that you're going to have a great weekend with your grandparents and your boyfriend. And I think it's going to be a hard recovery for your brother to get back on their good graces. All because your girlfriend was mad at you about something she doesn't want to tell anybody about. Ugh, unnecessary drama. And on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Hopefully you enjoy that weekend with your grandparents and boyfriend. Take care and thank you for sharing. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user EarthClassic230. Would I be the a-hole if I didn't get my sister a wedding gift? Okay, so I, 25 male, I'm a wedding planner. So when my sister, 32 female, announced she was getting married, most of our family, her included, assumed I'd help plan it for her. I initially didn't really want to, as her wedding is right in the middle of busy season, so I'd miss out on gigs that would pay. But then I decided that she's my sister and this would be a good wedding gift and would just help with her wedding stress. She was so happy when I agreed, and we started going over her plans and themes. I found some venues and we went to look at them. I took care of all the catering, so all she had to do was taste test and pick. I was also able to use my connections to get her special deals and stuff like that. At first, it was pretty smooth, but as time went on, it just got more and more stressful. She wouldn't communicate with anyone and almost got her photographer to quit. I had to convince him to stay. She'd constantly change her mind on things and then get mad that they were changed, as I should have known she was just being indecisive and that I should have stuck with the first option. While I was setting up the registry, she told me I could have first dibs on what gift I was getting her. I looked at her confused and said that my help planning was my gift. She then said that a lot of family members helped out and they are still getting gifts. I told her that other family members helped move furniture or lend me their car to pick up supplies. I was doing most of the work and was missing out on actually getting paid for helping her. She said she was grateful for my help, but that this wouldn't really constitute a gift unless I was paying for things like her dress or the venue. And she said it didn't matter when I brought up that my connections have literally saved her thousands when you added them up. She's now calling me cheap and is getting our family involved. I don't know what she told them, they won't tell me, but they keep saying how selfish I am and making my sister's big day all about me. If I could afford it, I wouldn't mind getting her something, but the cheapest thing in the registry is almost $200 and I'm not well off. Plus my loss of income. I can't afford something like that right now. I want to support her, but I don't think I'm gonna get her a gift. Would I be the a-hole if I didn't? No, OP, you wouldn't be the a-hole, and your sister is being an entitled a-hole. This is your way of living. This is what you do to earn money. Does she not understand that you're actually working for her for free is making you lose money? This sucks. It's like when people have a restaurant and family members think that they can just go and eat for free because it's family or whatever. No, if your sister wants a gift, why don't you write up the invoice for everything that you're doing plus all the discounts that you're getting her and tell her, look, this is your gift. And if your family members keep giving you grief, then how about you show them the invoice or, you split it up between all of them and they can help pay for your services. Honestly, your story pissed me off. Your sister is a diva. No, OP. Don't get her a gift. What you're doing is already a gift. And if she doesn't like it, then you charge her and then you can buy her a gift. And what is your judgment? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Pleasant Koala 147 says, note the a-hole. Make an itemized bill for her, outlining the hours you've spent, the income you've lost by turning down paid gigs, and the savings you've got her through your contacts. Print the final total in big, bold numbers, then print gifted in red letters across the front. Frame it and put it on a stand at the gift table at her wedding so everyone can see how generous you've been. Anyone tries to argue that you're being selfish, tell them to read it out loud. If they accuse you of being petty, tell them it wouldn't have been necessary if it had been appreciated by the bride and themselves. Snoopandas 4016 says, not the a-hole, in any way, shape, or form. Your time is valuable, and you sound like you have put a lot of effort into helping her with her wedding. She has offered you nothing in return at all, actually, when a wedding planner would normally be very expensive. I think that is a lovely gift to give someone, and if she is going to flip out on you for not getting her a material item, then it shows how much she values your time. What an a-hole. Here is the gift you should give her. Add up all your time and what you would charge a normal client. Put it on an invoice. Write free of charge because I love you next to the total charge. Buy a lovely wedding card and insert the invoice into the card. Give it to her. Then she will see exactly what you got her for her wedding, which I expect will be a damn sight more than anyone else got her. This has now made me angry, and I'm going to boil the kettle angrily and make tea like a proper English person would in this situation. Scream Queen 57 says, not the a-hole. While I would have maybe been clear up front that getting your services for free was the gift, your sister's level of entitlement is ridiculous. Frankly, I'd hand your sister a bill for the work you did that highlights the money you saved her with your industry discounts and say either she can pay you and you'll get her something off the registry, or this and your continued free labor can be the gift. Helping out is when someone comes over to make favors, helps transport items, or decorate. You are providing a service and coordinating an entire event for her. And as with your family that feels the need to be involved, you need to be clear with them that you are a 25-year-old losing out on actual money to support yourself, and you're disappointed your family neither seems to value your work or time. So the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, and apparently we all had the same idea, to show her how much everything you're doing is worth. Now, we don't have any additional context, which means we move on straight to the update to see how the story ends. I took some of your advice, but didn't go as extreme as I think some of you were hoping I would. Sorry. But I can be a people pleaser, and I don't want to ruin what is supposed to be a happy moment in her life. So I put together a list of everything I had done, including all the discounts I had gotten her. I'm not sure if she knew they were discounts, as I didn't say they were discounts. I was saying things like, I have been able to get you a quote of X amount from Y for Z. I would also like to state what I would normally charge for a wedding this size. I then texted her to ask if we could get some lunch and talk. When she arrived, I showed her the list and explained that I was not asking her to pay for this, but I wanted her to see how much I was helping her and how much money I was losing by doing her wedding instead of taking on a client who would pay. At first, she was shocked at the amount and accused me of lying to try and make her feel bad. I was able to show her bills from other weddings I had done before, and a quick Google search showed that my prices are pretty average. She had never looked up any wedding planner or their rates because she assumed I was always going to do it. She said she thought it wasn't that much, as I didn't seem to be well off. I told her that while it does pay well, I can't take on crazy amounts of clients since I need to give quality service and that I might not always get clients all year. Plus, I have a few medical expenses that can take out a large chunk. She said I still must have some money saved up. I said I did, but that I would have to use it to cover my bills and stuff since my income is taking a hit due to taking on her wedding. After a while of insisting that some of the items on her registry weren't that expensive, she relented. I wouldn't have to get her anything since I had gotten her enough discounts to qualify as a gift, and she was grateful for my help and services. Honestly, I didn't know how much this was stressing me until that relief washed over me. I was thankful that this was over and we could continue with planning her wedding. I asked her to clear things up with our family as they won't talk to me about it. She agreed and sent a group text explaining that the gift incident was just a misunderstanding and that we had talked it out and cleared things up. For those who are saying that her registry seems very expensive, her new husband, his family friends, and a lot of her friends are very wealthy, and she makes sure our parents and other close family are taken care of, so she kind of has become disconnected from people with normal financial status like me. There are a lot of things on the list, like designer handbags, clothes, shopping sprees, dinners, and even a car and second home. The cheaper items are some simple jewelry she liked. She paid for my part of the lunch as an apology, and since I'm struggling, things are all good now, I think. Thanks, everyone. Well, OP, I don't know if it's a happy update because I think she should have offered to set the record straight with the family as soon as she understood that she was in the wrong. Still, it's a positive that she did it and she sort of apologized to you by paying for your lunch. So on that note, I hope the planning goes well and she doesn't turn into a bridezilla. Thanks for sharing, OP, and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.